So we come to study number 8 in our home group series, Reframing Your View. Let me introduce to you the well-known parable, the Prodigal Son. You've likely heard the phrase Prodigal Son in movies, music, TV. There's actually an ongoing TV series by that name. Prodigal means, at least originally, squanderer, or one who wastes away money recklessly. Of course, this story is remembered most for the rebellious kid who selfishly wanted his share of his dad's inheritance before his father's death. In other words, he wanted him dead. However, the story is definitely about two sons. It's actually how Jesus begins the story in verse 11. And we know this because Jesus is telling this parable to challenge the attitudes of the religious leaders in his day. So Jesus had attracted a following, we'll just say, that some might say was not all that religious, certainly less educated, and very marginalized in the society in which they lived. And as you might imagine, the religious leaders and the political leaders in his day did not like that he was ministering to this particular people group. They were messy. They had difficult problems that he had to deal with. And they were of a different class, we'll just say that. This is why Jesus tells this parable, however, a story about two sons, the one who rebelled and the other who stayed home. One who was reckless and the other who was outwardly obedient to the father, but had an attitude problem himself. Only one in the story repents to the father, though. Only one. See, whether we identify with the older son or the younger son, if we refuse to acknowledge our own mess within our hearts, the stuff that's on the inside, well, then no matter what it looks like on the outside, we may be not in right relationship with our Father God. And of course, the dad in the story represents God. You know, more than anything, this is a story not only about just two sons, but the heart of the Father. God towards His children. What a picture that we have of God and His love and compassion towards us. I want to ask you a question. What picture do you have of God when you think of His attitude toward you? Is it one of compassion or frustration? One of anger or a loving father waiting in anticipation for his wayward children to come home? Think about that for a second. And maybe spend some time before you get into the study questions, and spend some time in prayer and discussion over these topics, and then get into the questions.